What is your American dream?
My American dream is, fulfill my dad's wishes of having a better life. He left Mexico and everything behind, his family, for us to have a better life. And my dream is basically just to, make him proud and give him a better life as well for working all these years. And, continue to take him to soccer games, and get together as a family.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome everybody. Today is Monday, March 7th. Sorry for being late. We're short-staffed today, so our small staff even got smaller. A lot of different reasons. Doesn't really matter, but we finally made it here. Hello, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Hello. We are here.
I've been talking to Jonathan for 1 hour.
Yes. Yeah. Sitting here.
Right. We had a great show just between the two of us.
We did.
We were laughing a lot. All right. Let's say hello to the squad. Jessica Levy, squad up. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, squad up. How are you? British Ever Bless Davis, how are you as well? Dip Fab, Cake Affairs, Willie L. Williams, squad up. Denver Sow. Kimia Lawrence. Ooh, yeah. Hello, Brad.
I like that.
Yes. And who else we got here? I think I said Dion Reed. If not, I've said it twice now. Susie Q Mac on YouTube. Squad up. Daryl Winnabaugh. Jessica Leamy. Double Fisting. Denver Sow. Joan Grant. Marilyn Patton with a pre-schmooze question. Can a person with a J1 visa get a green card through marriage in the USA? Thank you. Yeah, if you're in a bona fide marriage, you can. Now, certain people on J visas have a 2-year home residence requirement. You got to deal with a waiver to overcome that. But yes, you can absolutely get a green card through marriage. And Camille Thomas, also with a pre-schmooze question, Yo-Yo. If an American citizen is on child support, can they marry without any problems? If you're paying child support, no problem. If you owe child support and don't pay it, problem. So I don't know what I'm on child support means. Are you on and up to date, or are you on and not up to date? Jonathan, take it away.
All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you all to please throw in all of your questions right now if you want to get them answered. It's a better chance for you to get them answered during social media check-in if you put in your questions now. And also, please start sharing. Share on all social media platforms, because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest headlines, including what the UN High Commissioner for Refugees is calling the fastest growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II, as over 1 million people have fled Ukraine amidst the ongoing Russian invasion. And today is Fuzzy Monday. All right, so get ready for some stories about our furry friends, including some unique canine photos. Canine photos.
Not candid.
Right.
But
it is kind of candid.
They are candid as well. Canine photos.
Yes. Obviously, like you guys just saw,
they're saying cheese.
Yes.
For the camera. Jonathan is tongue-tied.
Yes, because that canine messed me up.
Yeah. And of course, you can call us at 1-800-529-5465. That's the telephone number to call to get your immigration questions asked and answered. 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. And later in the show, I'm going to speak to student and media production company owner Carlos Lopes about his life in the United States as a DACA recipient. All right, you ready to schmooze?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're 10 days into the war with Ukraine. 1.5 million refugees have fled Ukraine. Still 42.5 million Ukrainians in Ukraine in the middle of a war zone. UN High Commissioner for Refugees Filippo Grandi said on Sunday that this is the largest and fastest growing mass refugee exodus in Europe since World War II. The majority of those fleeing have entered Poland, while others have sought safety in Hungary, Moldova, Slovakia, Romania. In recent days, Grandi has led calls for support and hailed locals and officials in other countries for welcoming, in recent days, thousands experiencing separation, anguish, and loss. Grandi said on Sunday that he was not especially concerned about political backlash to refugees of the kind seen with Syria and other war-torn areas. He said this crisis carries an important message that anybody can become a refugee very suddenly, and that is certain. Under an emergency plan, Ukrainian refugees have a right to live and work in the European Union for up to 3 years. This proposal is based on a 2001 law drawn up in the aftermath of the Balkan Wars, which has never been used. That was, Croatia, Montenegro, and Albania. By waiving the requirement to claim asylum for Ukrainian nationals and permanent residents, the European Union hopes to avoid overwhelming the European Union asylum system. Meanwhile, authorities in Brussels called on border guards on both sides of the Ukraine-EU frontier to ensure everybody, not just Ukrainians, but everybody of every race, nationality, gets through the border if they want. A senior EU official said absolutely everyone, I'm quoting, everyone regardless of nationality, of race, of religion, will be allowed across the border into the European Union. If they are fleeing war from Ukraine, there will be a safe haven for everybody. Now, there's been news recently by many news outlets that people without Ukrainian citizenship, especially people with darker skin, have had problems getting out of the country. Now, what European Union is saying is that as of now, whatever problems they had in the past, have fixed it. That's at least what they're saying. And everybody will be allowed out, no matter race, religion, nationality. If you don't have a Ukrainian passport, however, they will look to repatriate you back to the country that you originally came from. So only the Ukrainians will be allowed to stay in Europe. So if you're a Nigerian student, Indian student, eventually you'll have to be repatriated back to India or Nigeria. That's what they're saying in the European Union. The Biden administration announced on Thursday that they're giving temporary protected status to Ukrainians here in the United States. They approximate about 34,000 Ukrainians are here out of status, have no country to return to. 4,000 of them are in removal. All of them will get temporary protected status. That doesn't mean that if you're Ukrainian and arrive later, you get temporary protected status. You only get temporary protected status if you're here at this very present moment. So it is not for refugees. What the temporary protected status is just for people who are already in the United States who can't leave because they got nowhere to go. In the meantime, President Joe Biden is taking immediate steps to ensure that Ukrainians and others fleeing the war are prioritized for resettlement. The number of European refugees the United States can accept is capped at 10,000. 335 of those slots have already been filled, mostly by Ukrainians. So if you are a Ukrainian and want to come to the United States, I would assume that in the next few weeks, the cap will already have been reached. So if you're in Europe, you'll end up staying in Europe. They've already accepted 335. I don't know how many applications are already in. And Moldova is worried about a Russian invasion. And the reason they're worried, Moldova straddles Ukraine and Romania. Has a lot of Russian-speaking citizens in Moldova. It is not part of the European Union. It is not part of NATO. And every country that's not part of the European Union and part of NATO is worried now that, especially if they have Russian-speaking citizens in that country that Russia will invade it and try to make it part of a greater Russia. So now, as of today, Moldova has made an application to join the European Union. That does not prevent Russia from invading, only being a member of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, would require that all 27 European countries plus US, Canada, come to the defense of those particular countries. And there was a ceasefire, and Putin broke the ceasefire. There's a lot of humanitarian issues, especially in the southern city of Mariupol, where Ukrainian officials are saying that within the next short period of time, people are going to run out of food, run out of water. The Russian army has surrounded the city, and they were going to allow people to get out of the city, and that has collapsed. So we're looking at a huge humanitarian issue in the city of Mariupol. It is right on the Black Sea. I think the idea from the Russian military is to take over all the cities on the Black Sea and prevent any sort of military equipment or food or any supplies coming into the Ukraine. Problem is they haven't gotten that far. They've gotten a lot more stiff resistance from the Ukrainian army than anybody anticipated. Ukraine has slammed Moscow. A lot going on in Ukraine today.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, Ukraine slammed Moscow, offer to evacuate civilians to Russia. So Russia said that they would accept the refugees, but only if they go to Russia. So Russia goes and invades Ukraine, causes this humanitarian crisis, causes a major war, and then wanted the television news to say, look how wonderful Russia is. They're accepting all of these refugees. And that was obviously turned down by the Ukrainians. The other thing that President Zelensky is trying to do is some of the old Soviet countries, Poland and Slovakia, they have the MiG. They're asking for a no-fly zone, of which NATO won't get involved in because they don't want to start World War III.
Right.
But now they're asking Poland, especially Poland, Slovakia, and Romania, whose Air Force still flies MiG fighters, because Poland, Romania, and Slovakia were part of the old Soviet Union. The MiG fighters are the Russian jets, not the F-16s that you see, Tom Cruise flying in Top Gun.
Right.
So the idea is to ship the Polish, Romanian, and Slovakian jets to the Ukrainians that they can fly them and have a no-fly zone, because the Ukrainian pilots don't know how to fly F-16s anyway. They're only trained to fly the MiGs. The issue is Poland says, well, if I give them our planes, then what are we going to have? We got to protect ourselves too.
Right.
So now it's up to the United States to resupply Poland with F-16s.
Oh my gosh.
And then teach their pilots how to fly them. But somebody needs to patrol the skies over Ukraine, or the war's going to be over sooner rather than later.
Right.
And it's going to be on the Russian side. So Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Joe Manchin, we've heard Senator Joe Manchin's name before, both said they also are going to support a ban on imports of Russian oil. So if you don't like $4 a gallon gas, you're not going to like $6 a gallon gas. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So the American people have to appreciate what the price of, if you call what we have freedom, is freedom, or price of democracy, or the price of our lifestyle. Because people would argue, I don't know if we're free or not. Right?
Right.
I mean, but that's an argument for another day.
Right.
But how about the price of our lifestyle?
Yeah.
Okay, because that is the price you're going to pay. What's interesting about this war is that, there's new things that are always, I find it interesting. I'll give you my 2 cents on. There's new things that are always discovered in war that are, new things that are always made and discovered in war that nobody ever thought before the war would start. And there's three things that I've noticed that Putin did not calculate.
Okay.
One is the fact that there would be such severe economic sanctions, and the sanctions would be digging in very, very deep into the regular Russian population, to the point now where, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, there's no credit cards anymore in Russia.
It. Yeah.
They blocked them. We're now at the point where we're not going to buy their oil anymore.
Right.
We're now at the point where we have blocked all of their banking outside of Russia. Basically, that nobody thought that this collective sanctions is literally like a nuclear bomb went off in Russia.
And
their stock market hasn't opened yet since they started the war, because their stock market opened, all of their stocks would be zero.
So you don't think that he thought about this?
I don't think he realized to the extent.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of consequence.
Because he invaded Crimea in 2014, and the world said, we're going to give you sanctions. And you know what? Putin said? We've lived through your sanctions before. We'll live through them again. So he didn't
Real
expect.
cocky with it.
He did not expect to the level and extent. The scary part is that if you bankrupt Russia so much, you bankrupt them to the point where they don't have food, they don't have money. A caged or a caged animal, or an animal that's backed into the corner with nowhere to go, could lash out.
That's what I was saying. I was afraid that he was going to do it. They could lash out with a
nuclear weapon. Who knows?
Remember, that's what
It's very scary. Apple. Think about Russia spans 11 time zones. Boeing and Airbus, 3/4 of their airplanes that fly in Russia, 75% of every plane in Russia is either made by Boeing or made by Airbus. Boeing, the U.S. airplane company, Airbus, the European airplane company. They refuse to service their planes. They refuse to give parts to their planes. Those planes will not be able to take off in another 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
How in the world people living in a country that spans 11 time zones will get from one part to the other? You can't. The entire Russian aviation industry is going to collapse. Look at TikTok is no longer in Russia because Putin said, by the way, if I was in Russia right now, the next sentence I'm going to say would put me in jail for 15 years.
Wow. What?
You can't say Russia started a war with the Ukraine.
Wow.
15 years in jail.
Are you serious?
Russia started a war with Ukraine. Luckily, I'm in New York.
Right.
Okay.
And they can't come for you.
They can't come for me. Now, I don't know if I can ever go back to Russia anymore after that.
I don't know if you want to.
I don't know. But that's 15 years in jail. So the people on TikTok say, we don't want to be on a platform where somebody says that. Then they're going to say the executives knew. So they shut down. So TikTok is no longer. You can't do a live video on TikTok. You can't post a TikTok video from Russia. You can only watch.
Wow.
Facebook closed down. Okay. Think about Apple. You can't buy an Apple product in Russia anymore.
There's no way of living.
Combined economic, to the point where we talked about last week, where they banned cats. They banned the Paralympians.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing. When you think about the three things, the economic,
that's crazy,
nuclear bomb that the European community and America and Canada, Japan and Australia put against Russia. And by the way, Russia, although a superpower, it's not the largest economy in the world. It has an economy equivalent to Italy. All right, so it's not like they're the biggest economy in the world. The second thing, which I find very interesting about, you never thought before, is that this collective like the whole world canceled Russia.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, let's cancel
culture.
Cancel culture.
Yeah.
Putin did not get cancel culture.
Yeah, he didn't know about
because
that.
he's been in a bunker because of COVID for the last 2 years. He didn't see all the people who got canceled.
Right.
But you know who got canceled now? Putin and the entire country of Russia has been canceled. They canceled Russian cats. They canceled the Paralympics. They have this collective, and you can't stop it. You can't make peace.
No.
You can't make peace with cancel culture. Who is a Putin going to sit down at the peace table with about cancel culture? You can't. Anonymous, these hackers, they're going after Putin now. How do you stop that?
You don't.
You can't. Okay? How do you stop this 16-year-old kid in Florida who's, what I'm talking about, who's listing all the yachts all over the place?
Yeah.
You can't. So Putin did not get cancel culture. He never thought in a million years Russia was going to be canceled. You can't come back from that.
You can't come back from that.
The economic, besides the sanctions that the European Union and the United States and Australia and Japan are giving to Russia, you have this cancel culture, which adds a whole other layer of economic pain. Never thought in a million years. And the last thing, things get invented during a war that you never thought would ever happen. And the last thing that I see, at least from my opinion, of what's happened in the last 10 days that Putin never thought would happen, is that outside of China, Iran, and Syria and Belarus, the entire world has united around the idea that you cannot invade another country because you want more land.
Right.
You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We are not in the 18th or 17th century.
Yeah.
We are in 2022. And outside of China, Belarus, Iran, and Syria, by the way, India is...
What are they, on the fence?
They're on the fence.
Oh, wow.
UAE is on the fence. Some countries are on the fence because they got to deal with Russia in their neck of the woods. But for the most part, the entire world has united around the fact that you can't do this.
Right.
And NATO, which a year ago, when President Pumpkin was the president, we didn't even know if NATO was going to exist anymore. NATO is stronger now than ever. We didn't know if the United States and the European Union would ever be friends again. Our relationships are stronger now than ever, and Putin never would have thought of that in a million years.
Right.
So that's what I see from all of this. The game changer is China.
Yeah.
If China says to Putin one day, and I don't know when this is going to be.
Do you think it would happen?
Well, China's in a precarious situation, okay? They are adversaries against the United States, okay? So they don't want to see the United States or European Union win anything, okay? They made a deal. China made a deal with the people of China, the Chinese Communist government. There's no real deal, but this is the deal. You get us, we stay in power, we are a dictatorship, and we're going to stay in power and be a dictatorship because this is the best way to run a government and make everybody's lives economically better. So that's the deal they made in China. Okay, we're going to take everyone out of poverty, and the greatest way to take everyone out of poverty, and you see it now, China's a lot of rich Chinese all over the world, a lot of middle-class Chinese. We're going to take you all out of poverty, and we're going to be an economic powerhouse. We are going to be the #1 economic power in the world.
I mean, it's a pretty good deal.
Right. It's a pretty good deal if you want to live, but in return, you get a dictatorship, no free press, you can't protest, you don't have your rights.
Wow.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
And people in China, they say, you know what? I was walking around in flip-flops and rice paddies, and now I'm living in a multi-million-dollar condominium. Yeah. They're like, we'll take that deal.
Right.
Now China.
So that's why they're behind Russia.
Well, they're behind Russia because they're in competition with the United States.
With the United States, yeah.
But you know what would happen, and this is way down the line, is if all these economic sanctions kick in, guess what's going to happen to China?
What?
their economy is going to suffer too.
They're going to get the cancel culture as
Then
well.
I don't know if they're going to get cancel culture, but their economy is going to suffer. Our economy is going to suffer. They're not in the business of, of reducing their gross national product. They want to increase their gross national product. They want to beat the United States and the European Union economically and become the most powerful country in the world economically, which is different than what Putin wants to do. He wants to become the most powerful country in the world because he's got a bomb.
Right.
So this doesn't help the cause for China. So if their economy gets battered enough, they may say to Putin, hey, pull out, let's make a deal and end these sanctions. And then who does Putin have on his side? Nobody at that point.
Right.
The only reason that Putin can continue is because he's got China on his side.
Yeah, for sure.
China switches sides.
That's it.
That's it.
Oof.
So that's my take on everything. We'll talk more about Ukraine tomorrow. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris on Sunday visited the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. You know what happened there?
Yeah.
What happened there?
That was like the bridge. Is it the bus?
That was the Bloody Sunday Bridge. It was the 57th anniversary, where state troopers severely beat and tear gassed peaceful voting rights demonstrators, including young activists and the late John Lewis, who later became a longtime Georgia congressman, the nation's first female vice president, as well as the first African American and Indian American in the role, said a record number of people cast their ballots in the 2020 elections. It was a triumph of democracy in many ways, but not everyone saw it that way. Some saw it as a threat. The vice president criticized Republican lawmakers for voting to block passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. It is the 57th anniversary today.
It's not even that long ago.
March 7th, 1965.
Wow.
Not long ago.
No, not at all.
No. And we don't have time for COVID. Let's get to Fuzzy Monday.
All right.
All right. We have some fuzzy news. Maybe. Maybe we have fuzzy news. Yo, you're going to be glad to hear that Hank the Tank, the 500-pound bear, has been exonerated because of DNA evidence.
Oh.
Yes. Hank the Tank, who was accused, a 500-pound bear, was accused of breaking into various homes in California and stealing all the food and ransacking the house. So finally, the authorities in California caught Hank the Tank. They were going to kill him.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't do to, they don't throw Hank the Tank in jail. They just give him the electric chair.
Sheesh.
They would just kill him. But what happened was, before they were going to euthanize him.
Look at him.
Before Hank the Tank he's 500 pounds.
Sheesh.
Before he was going to be euthanized, they decided to run a forensic DNA analysis to see if Hank the Tank was the bear who ransacked the most recent house in California. And you know what they found out?
It wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
So who was it?
It was a female bear. Hank's a man.
Wow.
So then the authorities said, we're going to go to 28 other homes and see if Hank the Tank was the culprit on any of the other 28 homes.
And not one?
Not one. Look on his wanted poster. Hank was innocent.
Innocent.
Dang. He was framed, Hank.
Well,
Hank the Tank was framed.
Thank God they went and did the research.
They did DNA on 28 homes. They said Hank the Tank never was in any of these houses.
Who is this female bear?
We don't know. So Hank the Tank is still alive and well.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So now, no, he's not being euthanized. He's even being relocated, Hank the Tank.
Oh, well, why did they? Why wouldn't they have done that in the first place?
They're gonna relocate him. They're gonna put a little tag on him and put him back into the wild.
Well, why wouldn't they have done that in the first place? Why are you gonna kill him?
Because they thought maybe Hank the Tank would come back.
If they take him far away.
He got away with 28 houses. Maybe he'll come back for 29.
They could have done the same thing if he was the guilty.
Well, thank God, Hank the Tank.
I know.
I'm glad they did the DNA.
He was just chilling. Look at that.
He's like, I didn't do nothing.
Right.
Yeah, and they were like,
Probably
yeah.
his wife.
They were like, yeah, right. I've heard that before.
Right. Look, he even made a wanted poster on him.
You're like, man, I didn't do nothing.
Poor
yeah, I
Hank
heard
the
that.
Tank.
Right. But you know, at least they did the DNA.
Yeah. 28 houses.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you heard of the census report for people. There is now a census of squirrels in New York City, Jonathan. People counting squirrels. People want to know how many squirrels are there in New York City. So in early March 2020, 72 New Yorkers who really wanted to count every squirrel in New York City, they went around counting, and what they found was they spotted a total of 433 squirrels. I'm sure there's more.
Right.
I'm sure there's more. But they said that Tompkins Square Park in the East Village has the most squirrels, followed by Sternberg and Cooper Parks in Brooklyn, as well as Thomas Paine and Sarah D. Roosevelt Parks in Manhattan. Gray squirrels are the most common, followed by the cinnamon-colored squirrel. The most extinct squirrel, at least in New York City, the black squirrel.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
I have not seen any black squirrels. I don't know if I can tell the difference between gray and cinnamon. Is there much of a difference between the colors? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess the gray one, look, like that's the gray one. It kind of, you would think it's cinnamon. I thought that was like just regular brown. I never knew that was considered the gray squirrel.
Well, apparently they were doing this because nobody's ever done this before.
Obviously.
And very little is known about the city's squirrel. So scientists say that the furry mammals can offer clues to how other animals might adapt to climate change.
But how do they count them? Like, what?
Now, the new release is accompanied by a toll-free number, 1-833 New York City Squirrel, NYC-SQRL, where the public can now listen to the experiences and information collected by the volunteers. So if you want to know all about the New York City Squirrel, dial 1-800-LAW-LINK. No, you dial 1-833 NYC-SQRL.
Jessica Leamy said, what the F? They need a hobby that doesn't include counting squirrels. I agree. I agree. That is kind of...
Well, people, you gotta love the squirrel. You gotta love the squirrel. Meanwhile, a Scottish photographer has raised tens of thousands of dollars for hungry animals with images of dogs catching cubes of cheese in their mouth.
I love this.
Yes. Carolyn Cowan, 56, who works with her husband Alice Deer on the project, says, it's fast and furious and total bedlam at times, but it's so funny. Sometimes I am crying with laughter. Deer cuts up to 22 pounds worth of cheese into cubes. He has different sizes for different dogs. He throws the cheese to the dogs, and I start clicking away as the dogs catch the cheese in the air.
They're hilarious. Look at them. Yes. They're so good.
The photographer said some dogs will just look at you when you throw the cheese at them, and it just falls in front of them. But sometimes some dogs really catch it. Depends on the dog.
Yeah, you can see some of them catch.
Yeah. I tried to, when I had Lucky and T-Bone, I tried to throw food at them. It would just hit them in the face and look down. And then I'd be like, no, it's there, it's there. They couldn't even find where it was.
Oh yeah, that one caught it.
Yeah. My dog, Hank the Tank would have killed my dogs in the wild. Right. They would never have survived in the wild.
Oh, look at those.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah, I like them.
So far, she's raising money. She's raised at least $20,000 for local animal food banks and other dog charities from these adorable, cheesy catch-a-thons. Carolyn says she held her first event in November 2018. At the first one, there was about 10 dogs that came. When COVID hit, we had to stop the event, but a few weeks ago, I was watching the news. I saw a woman talking about having to use food banks after losing her job.
Oh.
So they're doing it all to raise money.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And we have time for one more. Left or right, Yo-Yo?
Left.
All right. Video has captured the moment a zookeeper introduced her new baby to the gorillas, and they've collectively amassed over 30 million viral views on TikTok. Kate, who didn't disclose her last name, captured the flagship clip, which she reportedly shot at her undisclosed zoo 10 weeks into her maternity leave. The sweetest boy meeting my sweet baby for the first time. The footage shows the zookeeper holding up her baby, whose name and age have not been revealed, up to the enclosure of a male gorilla, who's sitting with his back to the window. He eventually turns around and stares at the baby. And he looked and he says, You think he's saying lunch or he loves the baby?
No. I think he loves the baby.
He loves the baby?
Yeah, I've seen videos of gorillas. Like, I remember when the kid had like fell into the gorillas. Like,
right, and they took care of him.
Yeah, and took care of him. Like, was holding him.
You're right, because the next sentence here on my card says gorillas have exhibited compassion for humans.
For babies, yeah.
Yes.
I've seen that a lot.
Yeah, in the most famous incident at Chicago's Brookfield Zoo in 1996, I think this is what you're referring to.
It might be that.
An 8-year-old female named Binti Joua saved the life of a 3-year-old boy who fell into her enclosure.
Yes.
She picked up the unconscious toddler and sat him down next to the exit where the paramedics were able to extract him. And in this past summer, a Boston zoogoer proved that the maternal bond transcends species after she and a mother gorilla held up their babies for each other to see.
Oh, that's cute.
So babies and gorillas were okay.
Yeah.
They go together.
I don't know if you're
I don't
an
know
adult.
if I would take, if I had another baby, if I would
allow the gorilla.
that.
No, obviously.
You know, on TikTok, somebody asked, "Do you have a baby?"
Right.
I don't have a baby. No baby.
Maybe they were asking if you want a baby.
What? Maybe they were asking if I want. I don't know. I didn't. Maybe that's what they were asking.
Right.
I thought they were saying, "Do I have a baby?"
I
gotta go back and look at that question now.
Right.
All right. Well, in this edition of TikTok, I answer questions about DUI charges and visiting Mexico as a dreamer. Let's watch. Sometimes I unfortunately get these telephone calls and say, "Hey, Brad, I just got pulled over for drinking. I got arrested. I got to go back to court. I'm not a U.S. citizen. Should I be concerned?" Well, if you plead guilty to a driving under the influence, generally in most states, driving under the influence is not a deportable offense and it is not an inadmissible offense. But driving under the influence does affect good moral character on applications for your green card. It does affect good moral character for your applications for citizenship. So you still have to be concerned about a DUI. In addition, if you have a DWI, a driving while intoxicated, then that is a crime of moral turpitude. If it is a crime of moral turpitude, it could affect you traveling. It may make you inadmissible. It may make you deportable. But for whatever you do, before you plead guilty to anything, check with a good immigration lawyer.
As a dreamer, you could apply for advanced parole in order to travel, but it's only for work purposes, educational purposes, or if you have a family emergency due to sickness, but not just to visit to be a tourist.
Wow. Why am I screaming on TikTok?
Because you scream even here.
I scream out here. I gotta put my mic on.
And I'm sure they still heard
They still heard me. Why am I screaming on TikTok? All right, you ready for some meat and potatoes?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Prince in Midland, Texas. Prince.
How you doing, Mr. Brad?
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm very fine. I have a very wonderful, quick question for you. I'm an asylum seeker pending for the past 5 years. 2 years ago, in 2020, I was about to go for my interview before the pandemic, and last year I got the information that the Circuit Right Center is closed till further notice. So now, because I fled a religious crisis, I'm a pastor, and I stumbled into the special immigrant religious workers, and which has been extended now till March the 11th. I want to first of all ask, can I switch from?
Can you adjust your status?
Can I adjust that? Is it applicable to me?
Well, if you have an approved I-360, when you entered the U.S., did you apply for asylum at the border, or you came and then applied for asylum?
I came in.
You came in. And what kind of visa did you come here
on? B1, B2.
B1, B2. And did you apply within the 6 months of your entry into the United States?
Well, I think no.
No. All right.
Because
all right.
it's
So
not.
we would have to review your records, but if you overstayed your time, then you wouldn't be eligible to adjust your status anymore as a special religious worker. if you were fleeing persecution
Yes, sir.
and you have a really good asylum case, what I would suggest if your asylum case has been pending for 3, 4, 5 years is to threaten a mandamus. We've done it in my office 20 or 30 times with asylum applications that have been pending for years. People got interviews and completed their cases. But we should only do that on cases that are slam dunks for sure. We don't want to expedite a case and then get you ended up in removal. So I think you should have a consultation. Hold on one second, all right?
All right, sir.
All right. Let's go to Maxine in Queens. Maxine.
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. You?
Good. What's going on?
I applied for my three daughters in March 2018. And the last letter that I got from them is notice of immigrant visa case creation. So I just want to know, I went online and put in the case number and the ID number, but there is nothing came up. So I just want to know from 2018 if I should wait or...
You are a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
And,
but the time that I applied...
your children are over 21?
Yes, but the time that I...
So if you filed in 2018, that means your case got approved and it was sent to the National Visa Center, but the priority dates aren't current yet, so you just got to wait.
Okay.
All right, so hang in there.
You have any idea?
2, 3 more years.
Okay, all right.
Hang in there.
Thank you so much. All right, bye.
Michelle in Decatur, Georgia.
Hi, good evening, sir. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm fine. I filed for I'm a green card holder.
Right.
But I filed for my 2 daughters since 2019, and no one immigration replied back to me. So I wanted to know if I can put in for a visitor for them.
Well, they're not going to get visitors visas if you've already applied for their green cards. How old are they?
One is 16 and one is 8.
Okay. Do they have visitors visas right now?
No, they don't have.
No, they're not going to give them. The first thing I would do is see if you can try to expedite the cases for some humanitarian reason. You know, the most obvious one, I don't know if this is true or not, but the most obvious one is the kids have nobody to live with. You got kids on the street going from family to family to family. Or maybe a health issue.
Basically, now my kids, my big daughter, my mom and sister, them don't take care of her. Probably
okay, so then that wouldn't work. I don't want you to lie. I was just giving you as an example. But the first step would be try to expedite the visa petition. If it's not successful, step 2 is mandamus. All right, because it's been 2, 3 years already. So hold on one second, okay? But you getting visitors visa is not the thing. The thing is push the case to get approved. Hold on. Let's go to Ann in Brooklyn.
Yes, Brad.
Hi.
Yes, good evening. I want to ask you a question. What's the difference with a green card holder and a citizen petitioning for immigrant kids that's living in the United States?
How old are the children?
8 and 10.
The difference is, as an 8 and 10-year-old, U.S. citizen is immediately eligible. Those kids are immediately eligible for a green card. If they made a legal entry, they would become you file an adjustment, they would become automatic U.S. citizens. As a green card holder, if you file as a green card holder and the kids overstayed their time, they would have to go back to their home countries to pick up their green cards and return. You just heard the prior call from Michelle from Decatur, Georgia, that she filed for her underage kids in 2019 and is still waiting for an approval.
So if you're a citizen and they're overstayed, they can stay here and adjust?
Correct.
Okay, Brad. What's the Medicaid thing? I'm asking you, how long you have to have a green card before you can apply for Medicaid?
Go apply. You have a green card, go apply.
Okay, Brad. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Let's go to Mark in the Bronx. Mark.
Yeah, how you doing, Uncle Brad?
How you doing?
Thank you for everything.
My pleasure.
So I have one question. So I applied my working permit by an asylum. So for renewal is 9 months right now. I don't receive anything. I just have no only receipt. So should I worry about that or?
Your work permit? I've actually spoken to 3 people today who have applied for a work permission with a pending asylum 8-9 months and they still haven't gotten it. So I'm hearing that a lot lately. The only thing you can do is try to expedite it if your company is going to fire you or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not a cab driver, but I think they
You're
do
a
not
what
have.
driver?
Yes.
What kind of driver are you?
Lyft.
All right, just keep working until Lyft gives you a problem. As long as you have a driver's license, it's fine because you're an independent contractor, I assume.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Thank you very much, boss. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Wayne in Lake Lind, Florida.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night.
I have a problem with I went to the interview, and when I went to the interview, they asked me a lot of questions because I was under deportation, like from 2003.
What kind of interview did you go on?
My son filed for me.
Okay. So are you still in deportation? Were you ordered deported? Was the case terminated? What happened?
No, sir, it wasn't terminated.
So your son filed for you. You need to reopen your deportation case.
Yeah, but they give me an interview. I got an interview.
Okay. The interview, what did you file? An adjustment or just an I-130?
Yeah, adjustment.
Okay. So you needed to just file an I-130, get the I-130 approved, and then reopen your case.
Yeah, I already do that.
So what's your question then? Why are you calling me?
No, I'm just asking if when you do if you hold the government, the IRS, does it stop if I'm get a green card?
I'm sorry? If you what?
If you hold the IRS and you're on a payment plan,
If you hold the IRS, as long as you're on a payment plan, you're okay.
Oh, okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Roy in Queens. Roy.
Hey,
Roy
Brad.
in Queens, how are you?
All right, man. Listen, Brad. I filed for my mother and stepdad on I-130, along with my stepsister, who is 19 at the time. She got approved last year, waiting on the State Department visa processing. My question is did I have to submit a separate I-130 for the stepdad and my stepsister?
You have to file a separate I-130 for the stepfather, a separate I-130 for your mother, a separate I-130 for your stepsister, except your stepsister is not an immediate relative like your parents. So she's going to unfortunately be left behind. She has a 15-year wait based on your application. Now,
how long? How long?
15 years. How old is this child?
She's 20 now. She was 19 when I put the application.
Okay, so she has a long wait ahead of her. Where is she now?
Guyana.
When the mother gets here or the father gets here, they would turn around and file I-130s, would be faster, but still be probably 5-6 years.
Oh, so she will be able to come?
She will not be able to come, unfortunately.
Oh, so only my mother will be coming?
Your mother would be coming. If you want the stepfather to come, you got to file separately for the stepfather.
No, my mom got approved since last year, August. The State Department is...
Do you want your stepfather to come?
Yeah.
File an I-130 for your stepfather. When your mother comes, she should turn around and file an I-130 for the stepdaughter.
Okay.
All right?
So I'll file one for the stepdad now.
File for the stepdad now or he's not coming.
Okay. So I include a copy of the...
And the
reason
reason
for my mother.
People always think that you write the names of the relatives on the I-130, they're included. On some cases, yes. On some cases, no. Depends on what case it is. On this particular case, they're not included. You got to file separate applications.
How long was she after this for my mother to come? She waited for the State Department since August 2020.
Well, I don't know. Did you finish all the documentation?
Everything is done now. When I checked, it's approved by USCIS. And it says the Department...
You're not answering my question. You're just giving me random facts.
Okay.
Is she documentarily qualified?
Yes.
You did all the affidavits of support and everything?
No, we didn't have this support yet.
So then you're delaying your own case. Hold on, you need help. If it's been there for a year and a half and you haven't done the affidavit support, you need help. Let's go to Mavi in Louisville.
Affidavits of support and everything.
Mavi.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Mavi, listen to the show, listen to your phone, not the show.
Hello, how are you, sir?
How are you, Mavi?
Good. I have question regarding someone, not for me. So I can read her message. Her husband come here as a student visa, and he get married with some U.S. citizen, and he already get the green card. But she doesn't know about that, and kindly he cheat with her, and he has already green card. So anyway, she can complain about the fraud or not?
She can complain all she wants, but nobody's going to listen.
So what is it, sir?
She can complain all she wants. It's a free country. Write immigration, tell him your story. He committed fraud, blah, blah, blah. I don't think anyone's going to listen, unfortunately.
Yeah, because he has already green card, right?
He already got his green card. They're not going to listen.
Yeah, so nothing to bother him because
If
he
you want
hide
to,
like
you can,
a
but
marriage.
I doubt anything's going to happen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why I told her, like, she can stop him become to citizen either,
if
right?
he already got a green card already, and the marriage now breaks up, what immigration looks at is, oh, this is just an aggrieved spouse who's upset that the marriage didn't work out. That's usually what they think.
All right, thank you very much. I told her, like, she can't do anything
do
from
it.
here.
I mean, nothing bad's going to happen. Do it. You never know.
Because this year he going to become citizen too. She has a document, but she can't do anything. She is right now in India.
Okay. I just gave you my answer. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Nancy in Houston. Nancy.
Hello. Hi, Mr. Brad.
Hi, Nancy.
I'm good. So my question is today I already put my I-75 for me to renew my green card again, and I was just checking online. I see that they put remover for deportation because I was trying to go back home for a funeral. So I don't know what to do.
So you filed to remove the conditions. It sounds like your case was denied.
Yes.
Okay. You never got a denial letter?
No, I did not.
Online, did you check to see if you have a date for removal? What day you have to go to court?
They said March 2023.
Okay. Are you and your husband together?
No.
Are you divorced?
We're not divorced yet, but it's like we're going through a lot. So
Did you go for an interview with him?
Yes, I did.
For the I-751?
Yes.
Okay, they didn't believe it was a real marriage. That's why you were denied. Okay? So now you're in removal. You have a chance to redo your case. You also have a chance to redo your case with immigration if you want to get a divorce and prove that it was a real marriage and things didn't work out. Or if things are working out with you and your husband, you stick together and fight it out with the immigration judge and prove to the immigration judge you're in a real marriage.
Another question. Is it okay for me to get emergency travel documents?
No, you're in deportation. You're in deportation. Don't self-deport. I just told you what to do. Hold on one second. Let's go to Ali in Chicago.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, Ali.
Hello. So my question is that my I-145 was adjusted by the immigration judge in September last year, but I'm still waiting for my green card. What should I do?
Contact the judge and see if they transferred the case back to USCIS to manufacture your card. That's where you start.
Oh, I mean, my lawyer says that he transferred all my details to the court, but I don't know where should I contact. I mean, whom should I go?
Then go contact the court.
Okay.
See if your case was transferred to USCIS to manufacture your card. If it was, then contact USCIS. If it wasn't, then ask the judge to do it. The clerks, sometimes they're slow.
Okay, because it's already like 6 months past, and I was still waiting for that.
So you
I'll
so
contact.
the case your case was last with the judge. So you first
Okay,
check
okay.
with the judge. Judge, did you do what you were supposed to do and transfer the case back to USCIS? And if the judge is yes, then contact USCIS.
Okay. So do I have to call like the regular number on the code one?
I don't know what regular number. You contact the court where you were in. If you don't know how to contact the court, speak to your lawyer about it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Go to Carol in Miami. Carol.
Hi. I was held at the jail camp for illegal immigrants in 2019, which I filed for.
I misunderstood what you said. What did you say about illegal immigrants?
Okay. In 2019, I got in trouble and I was arrested. I got taken by ICE at a jail camp in Florida.
Why?
For like a shoplifting case.
Okay.
Okay, and I filed for a Vawa there, which I stayed there for 3 months. I got through.
One second, Carol. I have a question. The first sentence out of your mouth was something with illegal immigrants.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's the part where I'm going to.
I'm sorry?
No, I said I was held at the jail camp where they had illegal immigrants.
I understand now. Okay.
Okay. Now, I got through, which I filed for a Vawa case. And I got a work permit in the ending of December 2021. Now, the immigration judge, he took my passport. And being that I have a work permit and I cannot get a social without the passport, do you think I should just go ahead and apply for another passport?
You can apply for another passport, or you could write the judge and say, hey, can I get my passport back? I need to apply for a social security number.
But it's already expired, so
even if it expired, wouldn't it be easier if you had the expired one to apply for a new one? But yeah, go apply for a new one then.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted to find out.
But you could write the judge and ask the judge for the passport back, because at this point, it looks like you're going to get your green card. The judge has no reason to hold on to your passport.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right? But
Thank you.
Apply for a new one. Whatever's the easiest, fastest way.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to John in Fullerton, California.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, John.
Hi, good. Okay, I have a question. Okay, 2018, I got my green card through the sponsorship from my daughter, who's a U.S. citizen.
Right.
And I intend to apply for a American citizenship, in 2 years' time.
2023.
Okay, right. So the thing is that prior to obtaining my green card, I overstayed my visas. Okay, so would it be a problem?
No, you already got your green card, so you're fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Brad.
All
Thank you very much.
You're
Answer my questions.
Okay. Let's go to Joy in Los Angeles. Joy.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. Hi, Brett. How are you?
Good.
Actually, I got one question. I want to file for 824. I-824. So this one is I can file the online, or just I file for with any paper?
Why are you doing an I-824?
Because I applied for my stepson, I-130, so they send it to me the letter. So I think I have to do again I-824.
They sent you a letter what?
Yeah, they write on is my stepson is United States or outside of United States. So outside of United States.
You probably filled out the I-130 wrong and said your stepson's in the U.S. when he's not. So
yeah.
So if that's the case, you have to do an I-824. Off the top of my head, I don't know if an I-824 you can do online or you have to mail it in. Just follow the instructions, though. And what you want to do is transfer the case to the National Visa Center.
Yeah, so this one is when I file, I need to give it any paper document like my marriage certificate.
Just the receipt notice on the I-130 approval.
Yes.
So that's all you need to do, and say I want this receipt notice of this approval forwarded to the National Visa Center.
Okay, so this one is going to UCIS or National Visa Center?
National Visa Center in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ann in Brooklyn. Ann.
Yes, Brad.
Hi.
Yes, me again. Brad, as I was saying before, the I-130 that I was going to file, right? When I realized that I couldn't find the I-94 because they said there was no record found, I was wondering if I should still file it or just wait until I become a citizen. I file for the boys because the outer status.
Okay, I'm a little confused. You're filing for who?
I'm filing for my minor children.
How old are they?
8 and 10.
And you're a
But
resident
I
for how
can't
long?
find the I-94.
How long have you been a resident?
Less than a year.
File the I-130 now. Don't worry about the I-94.
Don't worry about it.
No, because you're going to be they're going to wait 5-6 years for a green card if you're waiting on your citizenship. Just say unknown. You don't know it.
Yes.
Lost. File the I-130. They'll go home. What country are they from? Jamaica? Sounds Jamaican.
Jamaica, yes.
Yeah, sounds Jamaican. They would go back to Jamaica and be back before their 18th birthday. Much faster than waiting on your citizenship. If your citizenship, how did you get your green card, by the way?
My daughter is a citizen.
Yeah. File for the where is the father of these children?
Neglect and abandonment.
Okay, so can I make another suggestion? We can
Yes,
do a
I'm
special immigrant juvenile. That would be the fastest, and they would get a green card here.
Faster than the I-130?
Much faster.
Oh,
Special
God,
immigrant
Brian.
juvenile, you go into family court, you live in Brooklyn, go into family court in Brooklyn, you get legal guardianship of the children, although you're already their guardian. You just get it, stamped by a judge, you're the legal guardian now. And you get the judge to put in his order making you a legal guardian that the biological father abandoned and neglected these children. If they go back to Jamaica, they'd be living on the street.
Yes.
When you have that guardianship and an order from a judge that one of the biological parents neglected, injured, abused, abandoned, any of those words are good, they can file an adjustment application in the United States of America immediately to get their green card. Family court, this guardianship process is 3 months. It would be the fastest thing in the world to do.
For all 3 months, you say?
For guardianship, and then they file an adjustment. What is that, a year? 13 months, they'll have a green card.
Oh, my God, Brad. So Brad, let me talk to you.
You're in Brooklyn. Hold on. You'll see me. Let's go to Effie in Baltimore.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
What's going on?
Yeah. So, I just have a quick question. I have a pending I-360 with a pending I-765 and 485. Everything was filed simultaneously. I had to do an expedite request because it's been almost 11 months that I've been waiting. I filed an expedite request in December.
Waiting for what? For 11 months.
Pardon me?
What are you waiting for 11 months?
Oh, I'm waiting for I-765.
Your work permit?
Yes.
Okay.
So I filed an expedite request in December, and it took them over 2 months to approve my expedite request. It was approved, I think, on the 18th of...
okay, well, better late than never. Okay, so what is your question?
Yeah. So it's been 2 weeks, and I really only have 10 days before I lose my job. So I don't know what else to do. Like, I don't know what, how I can make the adjudicator work on my case, I don't know if
You can't. You told me that it's been 2 months and they approved it, no? Isn't that what you just said?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so they just got to manufacture it and put it in the mail. Bring it to your boss and say, hey, this is approved. I'm just waiting for the thing in the mail. It's going to be any day.
No. They approved the expedite request.
Oh, but they haven't approved the I-765.
Yes.
Follow up again. Write again. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Okay, thank you.
All
Appreciate it. Bye.
By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein. Drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your question as best as I can. At RealBradBernstein, I guess. Oh, well, we don't have it. Maybe we will in a second. That's Effie in Baltimore. That's not my Instagram account. at Real Brad Bernstein, REALBEBR. I can't even spell myself. REALBRADBERNSTIN. Check me out on Instagram. Also, follow us at Brad Show Live. If you don't like 2 hours of us, but you like 2 minutes of us, follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. And of course, on TikTok, you saw TikTok time. I answer immigration questions. Leave your questions in the comment. Leave your questions in the question and answer. And if you are lucky enough, I can't answer everybody, but if you're lucky enough, you may get a personalized video answering your immigration question for the whole world to see.
And you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak to DACA recipient Carlos Lopes about how he has navigated his life in America and his goals for the future.
And now Spar and Bernstein client Sally Jimenez tells us the #1 change she would like to see in immigration reform. Now let us know in the comments what you would like to see, so I'll let you guys know after this.
What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
Oh, I would like to suggest that immigration reform should be like my case. If it's like that, I'll tell you, it affected my health. The stress, I got sick actually. The stress, especially that they have to give the exemption at least to go home and see the loved one. Especially like me, I don't have any crime, you know. I understand that I was overstayed. And also, my husband got sick and diagnosed of kidney cancer. So still he waited for his interview, and I was hope they will come right away with my children, but he died.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Without me. He begged me not to go home, just wait for my green card so I can bring my children, because my children's future comes first. And also, to those who are already here for so long and no crime, I guess they deserve to stay, adjust their status, and they will help these people, especially us from the third world country. We love our family. We just came here to help them, but to be away from home and children especially, it affected a lot of children. And till now, I'll tell you, it's a big, big impact to the children, but for the parents. Like it's so devastating, especially in my case. And I know that America is very generous, especially long overstay and here with good record. Give them a chance, because we are all good workers. We work hard, not only for ourselves, but for our country and our family. And the children is very important.
All right, chop, Jonathan. We got a lot of social media questions. Jonathan has been scouring the comments for the best issues, comments, and questions of the day. Let's do it. Social media check-in.
As of Khan, Facebook VIP member, my brother has been in the States since 2013. He entered the States on a B1, B2 visa. He didn't want to overstay on his visa. What if he can file for asylum, or is he married to a green card holder? How long will these cases take to be legalized?
Well, if he's in legal status and marries a green card holder, you can adjust his status in a year. That would be probably the best thing to do. Second best thing to do would be asylum. I don't know if he has a good asylum claim or not.
Oscar, a Facebook VIP member, if you're having a pending I-130 for over 15 months with USCIS without any action on it, can you file for a fresh I-130 again? Are you eligible to file twice with the same person?
You wouldn't do that. You're just going to set yourself back further.
Okay. Mickey on Facebook. After being denied for a green card and my wife filed for divorce, how long before I can get married?
The next day.
Anderson Smith on Facebook, when an application is filed to become a naturalized citizen, can the applicant travel outside the U.S. or should they wait on a decision from the USCIS?
You can travel outside the U.S. with a pending naturalization, just be in the United States more often than out of the U.S.
Chrissy Collins Bailey on Facebook, my kids' papers have been documentarily complete since last year, and every 60 days they keep sending me a generic letter saying they're still in line for an interview, but they are not doing any interviews because of COVID. What can I do?
And COVID, call Biden. I mean, you got to actually expedite the case, just some humanitarian reasons. There's people there, but it's going very, very slowly.
Marilyn Patton on YouTube, filing for my 30-year-old Jamaican-born son since February 2019. After that first response, nothing more. Can you tell how much longer? I'm a U.S. citizen.
How old is the son?
30 years old.
You're going to wait at least 3 or 4 more years.
Carolyn Jean-Baptiste on YouTube. I applied for my husband for a green card. I-130 was approved. I-485 denied. Now immigration approved the 601. What next?
The I-485 should be reopened again, and if not, then you would have to file a new I-45.
Melanie Allen on Instagram. How soon can a green card holder after landing file for their children under 21, 13 and 20? And will the 20-year-old be protected under Child Act, or will they age out?
You can file the day you arrive as a permanent resident, even if you don't have the green card. If you have a stamp in your passport, probably the 20-year-old will age out, is my guess.
And how many sponsors would they need?
Worry about the sponsors down the line. You're sponsoring now. Affidavits are supported down the line. You worry about it then.
Daryl Winnabaugh on YouTube. A friend of mine, their wife is filing for the N400 in May and needs to file in or fill in the spouse section for her husband, but the husband is on a pending change of status to F1 since October. Will this be a problem?
No.
Kimya Lawrence on Facebook. My kids are American citizens, but they live here with me in Jamaica. I don't have travel documents. How do I get child support for them here?
You have to go to the state in which the father is living, I guess, or the state. You're not going to be able to get child support. You're not going to be able to get child support in Jamaica. You can't go to Jamaica, to the family court in Jamaica. I would assume, I'm not a family court lawyer, I would assume in the state where the father lives.
Deji, a king boy on Facebook. Can I sponsor my undocumented immigrant nephew who is 6 years old for a green card? He's already on U.S. soil.
He can do a special immigrant juvenile if he's an abandoned child by at least one biological parent. You can do an adoption of him. That would take a little longer, but you can do either one, presuming the child would be living with you.
Princess Dyer on Facebook. If you're here in the USA and out of status, have a valid passport, but your J1 visa or your visiting visa are expired, can you still fly to a different state?
You can still fly even undocumented.
Abi Am on YouTube received a letter from USCIS saying I-485 administratively closed, but on the USCIS case tracker it says I-485 denied, and we sent you the denial notice, but I never got a denial notice. My I-130 is approved. What should I do?
Well, I guess we'd have to do a USCIS FOIA to find out why your case was denied and refile again.
Sobless on YouTube. 8/28/22 would be my 5-year anniversary since getting my green card through marriage. When can I file for my citizenship?
8/22/22.
Brave Girl on YouTube.
Actually, 90 days before 8/22. That would be 90 days before your 5-year anniversary of your green card.
Okay, last one. Brave Girl on YouTube. Hey, Brad, I got my 10-year green card through Vawa last year. Can I bring my 20-year-old son to America and apply for his green card?
He can file to join you here, and he would enter the United States with a green card. You got to do an I-824 to the National Visa Center.
All right.
All right. So DACA recipient Carlos Lopes came to the United States from Brazil with his mom when he was 12 years old. We spoke about how he has navigated his life in America and started his own media production company. Let's watch. So I'm here with today Carlos Lopes. He is a DACA recipient. He is a budding music producer with an amazing career ahead of him. He's also a social activist now as part of his music productions. Carlos, how you doing? Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
So, Carlos, you're originally from Brazil.
Yes, I'm from Brazil.
When did you first come to the United States?
I was 12 years old when I first came.
And how old are you now?
21.
And your family moved to America. Why'd they come to America?
I had family in America previously. My aunt had moved here about 20 years ago. So then I came here with my mom. I don't have a dad. So me and my mom came to visit. We saw the opportunities and we decided to stay.
Now, when you came to visit, did your mom say to you, hey, we're moving to America? Or it was just you're 12 years old. You just follow whatever mom says to do, right?
It was sort of me and my mom. I had asked her to stay in order to learn English, but we didn't really understand the whole process of immigration. So we kind of just came and we overstayed our visa. And then, reality hits and we...
So what was the reality of, okay, you're going to come to America, the streets are paved with gold. Obviously, it's not. What was the reality for you that hit, especially once you overstayed on your visa?
As a kid, not so much. Growing up, it wasn't really a thing that I thought about. It was more up until high school when, senior year approached and college and all those, financial aid, taking a loan out. That's when it really hit me that, I couldn't do the things that an American kid could.
So you went to high school here. I guess you started in junior high school, and everything was good up until the time you became an adult. Is that correct?
Yes, about like end of junior year when the whole college process started. That's when I really started to learn about my situation.
Now, how long have you had the DACA?
2 years.
2 years now.
Yes.
So up to that point, and it was around the time when you were applying for college, or you got DACA after you were already trying to get into school?
I got DACA after, so I graduated in 2014, and then at that point I had no DACA. So I, got accepted into a few schools, but then, I figured out the whole financial aid process and taking a loan out of the bank, and I couldn't do that. So I went on to community college, and in community college, that's when I received DACA.
I understand. And then at that point, you were able to transfer. I understand you're at Northeastern now. What are you studying there?
Business management.
Was it disappointing when you had to go to community college? You felt you were able to do more? You weren't able to do what you wanted to do? How did it make you feel?
So Somerville, Mass, where I moved to, is a very diverse city. There's kids from all over the place. And growing up in that environment, at first you're hanging out with the Brazilians, but then I saw an opportunity to start being involved with the American kids where, they're taking honors classes and AP classes, and that's when I kind of got into that friend group. And as they went on to go to college, I was ready to go to college, but then I really figured out that I couldn't. So, it felt kind of disappointing because I knew I was capable of, going on a 4-year university and doing relatively well. But, seeing them go, and I was like, what, like, me giving up now isn't going to help my situation in the future. So I kind of accepted the fact that I can't go to 4-year university now, so I might as well go to community college. And there I worked very hard, which, got me into Northeastern University, which is relatively a very hard school to get. But overall, there was a disappointment, but I just accepted and I kept going.
How did you motivate yourself? I hear what you're saying is you said you accepted it. Okay, you obviously have a lot to give this world, and we're going to talk about your music career in a second. But how did you motivate yourself? You say, wow, I just got hit over the head. I can't do what I want to do. I see all my friends, especially the Americans, being able to go off to school, get financial aid. How did you wake up in the morning and motivate yourself to say, okay, today's going to be a better day. This is, I'm going to survive. I'm going to be able to do it.
In my head, it was like I came from a very small city in Brazil to probably the best country in the world. And I was like, if I give up now, then I just felt that I had something to do and that I had to prove myself. And if I moved here, then there was a reason for me to keep going. There was no reason for me to stop.
Now I know that you are a budding music producer. You have a lot of followers on YouTube. A lot of your music has to do with the immigration experience. You're not the performer. You are the producer. How do you put your experience into the music of the artists that you're producing?
So I started a company about a year ago, and a couple of the artists that I've worked with come from immigration background, including a kid I grew up with, Prophet, who's Arabic. So he also came here when he was 2 years old, and his situation kind of got resolved. And then I also worked with this guy, Kyle Bent, who essentially did this song, talks about Trump and stuff. And me coming from an immigration background, I kind of understand that, so it facilitates my way of working with that type of music.
How'd you get into the music business? How did you learn to do this?
I make videos. I'm a film director. About a year ago, I thought to myself about this whole DACA situation and, how me getting a job might be complicated in the future due to, DACA being dissolved. So I thought to myself, if I start a company now, I can guarantee something for my future that, you know, regardless of me having papers or not, I'll be able to work by myself and, you know, make money on my own rather than depend upon a job to make money.
So what are some of the messages that's in the music that you're filming, that you're making these videos for?
I work with a variety of music, but I worked with this guy, Kyle Bain, who really, his music is very positive. He doesn't rap about, you know, the casual stuff that I usually see in music.
What's like the casual stuff you would see in music, and what does he rap about?
Casual stuff you see in music, you know, is guys talking about girls, money, and all of that.
Right.
And, you know, I understand that's part of the industry, but then there's also positive music where people talk about, you know, just being a better person and, you know, changing, having better values, things like that. And then also this guy Prophet is about the come up. So essentially working hard to get where you want to get in life, and, you know, regardless of what situation you're in, to really keep going until you reach success.
So what are your, okay, so how many artists, how many videos have you done? I mean, you're basically the videographer. How many videos have you done, and what are you most proud about of all the videos you've done?
I've done probably about 20 videos so far since we started this. There are videos that I'm more proud of in terms of passing a better message, such as Kyle Bent, the president, but then there's also videos where I'm proud of the artistic aspect of it in terms of, you know, creativity and the editing and all of that.
What makes you happy about the artistic value of what you did?
You know, in this industry is really about being different and, you know, coming up with your own ideas rather than trying to copy. It's really branding yourself in a way that people look up to you, and, you know, they're like, okay, this group of kids, they're unique in the way that they produce these videos. And to me is I want to grow my brand to the point that one day I can influence people to do better. You know, it's
Right.
not just about the artistic aspect, it's really growing a brand to the point that I can influence people to, you know, do things differently and you know, maybe help people.
So you're now a DACA recipient. You started your own company. You're successful. You're in school full time, getting a business degree. You're an artist. You're presenting a positive image for DACA recipients, for immigrants, for just people in general, for humanity. You have a message?
I do. Republicans, Democrats, if this message ever gets to you, we just want to be given a chance. We're not here to take anybody's jobs. We're not here to harm anybody. We really just want to prove ourselves and build a career and build a life in the country that we have grown up in. We've learned the culture. We've learned the language. We've learned like the food. We are essentially part of this country, but when it comes down to, you know, a piece of document, we're not. So all I have to say is that we really just want to be given a chance to prove ourselves.
Well, you have proven yourself, and you're certainly contributing. I hope they are listening to all of this. What's your American dream? You know, someone waves a magic wand and you see yourself 20 years from now. What's your dream?
I'm going to be at the top of the media industry. It's not a dream. It's going to happen.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. How do people find out about BT Living? And I understand
Yes.
it's because you're always on the B team in sports. I read about you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So an athlete you weren't, but an artist and a music producer and a videographer, certainly you're the A team. How do people find out about you?
You guys can find us on Instagram at bt.living, no G. And then Facebook and YouTube, if you guys just type in BT Living, will pop up the first one in the list.
Carlos, thanks for coming on, and best of luck to you. We'll be following you, and hopefully, eventually, you and all the dreamers be able to stay here. I'm sure it's going to happen. Nobody is going to end up deporting millions of kids who came here at a young age. Eventually, the political process will catch up to you, and hopefully, in 20 years from now, we'll see you at the top. Thanks for coming on. All right.
Thank you.
All right, we have 10 more questions.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be given 50 seconds to answer it. Let's do speed round. All right, you ready, Yo-Yo?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a clock. We have a gorilla. Now we have a clock.
Can I travel outside the U.S. with my conditional green card?
Yes.
How long can I stay outside the U.S. with my conditional green card?
No more than 4 months.
How long to get a green card based on Vawa?
At least 3 years.
How long should the I-130 take to process if you're in removal?
Oh, at least a year and a half or longer.
Can you file for VAWA with a pending I-130?
Yes.
Does USCIS grant asylum to people from Colombia?
If you qualify, yeah.
Can a green card holder file for his out-of-status parent living in the U.S.?
No.
Can you petition for a stepmother even if your father died?
Yes.
Which USCIS office in New York processes I-130s?
They don't. You have to go to the lockbox to file it.
Can a non-citizen join the U.S. Marines?
No, but you can be a permanent resident and join, but not undocumented. There you go.
Woo!
And with plenty of time to spare.
Woo!
Boom! Boom! Boom!
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
That was like, I want you to know something. That was like very smooth.
Very smooth. Chill, calm.
And there was no pressure.
No pressure.
Zero.
I like that.
And by the way, I don't have to go back and re-answer any questions. All
there
correct.
you go. There you go.
All correct.
We like that.
All right, we did it. Comments of the day.
Let's do it.
All right, what do we got?
All right, first comment of the day comes from Justina AG04. Squad up La Familia. Best attorney, if you want some good news, come get it all. Share this video, preach to people about this squad, and you will be glad that you did. Squad up.
Oh,
so
wow,
nice.
very nice.
That's
Very good. I like that. Justina,
like,
new person for comment
Justina. Maybe it's AHIO4. What?
Justina AHIO4.
Yeah, AHIO4. Because
All
I like how she says squad up La Familia.
Yes.
I like that. All right, our second comment of the day comes from Don Harriet saying, Brad, you and your team are the best when it comes to giving us the news in its simplest form with detail.
Oh, thank you.
We were talking about that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, you give
Very
a lot
good.
of good opinions.
You. We have a
and,
good team that puts it together for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And our last comment of the day comes from So Blessed saying, best immigration lawyer in the WWW. Keep up the good work, Brad. You're not just a lawyer, you're a super lawyer.
Oh, thank you very much. In the World Wide Web,
Yes.
is she best lawyer in the World Wide Web?
Mm-hmm. WWW.
I would say that's the best lawyer in the world, because what lawyer doesn't have at least a website?
There you go. There you go.
Well, thank you very much.
Super lawyer.
Super lawyer. Thank you very much. All right, tomorrow is Tuesday Tea, Yo-Yo's favorite day. Have a great night. We'll see you all tomorrow, and stay safe. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK, 1-800-529-5465.